This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
All right, here we are. If it's Tuesday, that means we're live at 5. So live on the HK4HD radio and TV and podcasting, Top 4 Media TV, radio and podcasting. Also, we're streaming on Worldwide TV, WomanOnTV.tv, and IT247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. So I think we lost Lynda, which is interesting. But anyhow, all right, so we got vocally Tosh from Miami. How do these things happen? It's called technology. And then all of a sudden, I was expecting to see Lynda, and then Terri pops up. What does that tell you, Tosh? How wacky is that?
I'm on time, right?
Okay, so I think we have Lynda's audio only. So let's
what do I need to do?
Hi, Lynda.
Hi, what do I need to do?
We got to get your camera turned back up. There you go.
Am I there?
You are there.
There you go.
All right, Lynda, because Lynda just popped up. Lynda, tell us who you are and where you're coming from. Go ahead.
I'm Lynda Evjen, and I am president of Nashville Women in Film and Television. And I have a background in film and theater and all those things. We're very excited. We have over 400 members here in Nashville. And now we have started an affiliate program that has chapters that have joined us that are in Alabama, Arkansas, and we're going in a couple of weeks to Knoxville to start a new organization, and also Louisiana. So this affiliation will give us a good southern contingent that can bring a lot of things together. Many of the states have started with their film incentives, and there's going to be work for all levels of film and television that's going to happen in these states that have passed these incentives. And so we're very, very, very excited about the future of women in film and television.
So Tosh, and obviously Terri already knows because she met Lynda in person. This
Yes.
young lady, she loves to dance. I love to see her dance. When I see Lynda dance, I feel like I want to dance. She just loves to dance, and I just remember, Lynda, we were at Manuel's wedding, and then she just get out there and dance, and I'm like, I got to go dance with this young lady. It was me, you, I think it was Kathy that dancing, and it was just so fun. Normally, you're not going to catch me on the dance floor, but in Tennessee, if Lynda's there and she's dancing, I'm going to be dancing.
Oh, yes. Well, you know, I was an old tap dancer, and I toured with Bob Hope in his USO show in 1967 and 68. That tells you how old I am. None of you were born yet.
I was.
And I used to do this tap dance thing, and it was a doctor routine, you know, where and we wore these skimpy little uniforms that were nurses' outfits. And in those days, we didn't take pictures like we do today, but I do have a couple of pictures from that doctor scene that we did. And we tap danced all over everywhere, on ships and on planes and in crazy bunks and things like that. And my mother cried and cried. She didn't want me to go on that. And nothing happened. I had a great time. It was wonderful. Bob Hope's people came to my mother and had her sign all the things. And oh, she just knew that it was going to be the end of me. But it wasn't. And then I came home and got married in 1970, and that's when I made Rio Lobo with Jennifer O'Neill. And that's a cute story too, because I had been with Dallas Repertoire Theater for many years, and David's mother said to me when we got to LA, she said, "You have to show up on the set tomorrow morning because you're going to be in Rio Lobo." And I said, "What?" I said to my husband, I said, "Who's she sleeping with?" Because you don't just walk in and get a part. And all of a sudden I had this little walk-on part. And so I was this townspeople, and Jennifer O'Neill pulled up in this big buggy, and she leaned down to me and she said, "Who put that bonnet on you? You can't see your face." And I said, I don't know. I just showed up. And so she took me back into the costume room and changed the hat that I had on. And we became friends. And then she took me to lunch. And, when you're a B-lister actor, you don't get to go with the A-lister team. But this day I did get to go. And I went to lunch and I met John Wayne and all kinds of people. And Jennifer and I stayed friends for for all these years, 50 some odd years. And when we came here to Nashville, Jennifer let me know that she had a farm here, and she does PTSD for veterans with horse therapy. And she said, if Susie wants to get married, why doesn't she get married at the farm? We've never had a wedding here. So sure enough, that's what we did. So it's funny how things can throw you into situations where you meet somebody and then years later, you're still friends. And, so in fact, I have a meeting with her tomorrow with Jennifer, because we're going to do something with possibly having corporate and things like that come out and film there at the farm. So we're meeting tomorrow for that. But it's fascinating how your life goes by and so many things happen.
Lynda, let me ask you this. What's a favorite memory of yours of John Wayne and Bob Hope?
Well, my favorite memory of Bob Hope is that he always, 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 always told you to enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. No matter what you do, I want you to enjoy the show. And he was a character. He was a character backstage as well as on stage. He was funny all the time. So I'll never forget that he just, he would tease me about my shoes, the tap shoes. And he'd say, "Trade your shoes with me. My feet hurt. So let me have those shoes." "What are you talking about? You can't wear these tap shoes." And he'd say, "Well, I'll try," so that was fun. And then John Wayne, the thing that I remember the most about John Wayne is that he was little. He was short, and you think of him as being such a big man. And he was not. He was a slight, he was just not a great, big, huge man like he looks like in the movies. But he was quiet, and, he was kind to me that day. And then I saw him years later, and he did remember me. So that was kind of fun. So that's some of the fun things. I can tell you some fun things about Powers Booth.
Oh, I want to hear that. I like Powers Booth.
Oh, yeah. Powers Booth and I started out together at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. And from there, he got more and more famous. And of course, I got married. And then we did a show in San Francisco, and it was a Garcia Lorca play. And I was supposed to come out and eat this sausage. And the stage manager had traded the sausages for a new sausage, and it had a hard skin on it. So when I came out on the stage and I took the bite of the sausage, I started spitting and spewing, and I thought, oh God, can I just stop everything and tell them I'm gonna quit and we're gonna start again, or what am I gonna do? And so anyway, I was coughing and everything. Well, the San Francisco Times wrote this beautiful review, and it said, oh, Lynda did all these great things. She was so brilliant, such a brilliant actress. She spit and spewed, and she did all these wonderful things. Well, Powers called me and he said, how dare you get a review? And I'm the famous one, and you get the review. So we laughed about that. And years later, when he came here to Nashville, and Dave and I were here, and he was doing the show, Nashville, he played in that series. And so I called him when he was on the set one time, and I said, I'm coming down and I'm going to be in the set. And he said, oh, no, you're not. You'll upstage me. So that's a fun story about him.
So Lynda, I wanted to have locally Tosh on because she's from Miami and she's going there, I think next week. And I said, Tosh, you need to meet Lynda, because when Terri and I and then Victoria and then Katarina went down, it was Lynda, it was Edie Han, it was Kat, Jennifer. There was a bunch of people there. It's the best time that I personally have had. And because of people like Lynda and Swift and WIFT and the things that she's doing, we have to always go back and support that.
Now we
decided. I'm sorry, Terri. What did you say?
Well, I was just going to say that we had a blast. That's all at the Swift.
Yeah,
it was so much fun, and it was so much. It just so many talented women there, and just so many different stories. Every time I turned around, there was another woman, amazing woman with an amazing story. So I mean, I just had a great experience.
Yeah, we started about 4 or 5 years ago doing this Swift Southern Women in Film and Television Summit. And we bring in people from all over the world and all over the country. And when we were not in the pandemic, we did it live. And you and Brian were there for the live event. And we had directors and producers and below the line and above the line people that did seminars and did workshops with our membership, and it was very powerful. And last year we did it all virtual, on Zoom, and had a good turnout and did well. But I think that people like the live events. I'm thinking that this year, probably in the spring, that we're going to do it again, and do it maybe a combination of Zoom, because that way we can get international people involved as well as live. So we're looking forward to that, and know that you and Brian and all of you will hopefully be there and be speakers and involved with us, because we're a powerful organization. We do a lot of great things. We've got a program in the schools that one of our members wrote that's transmedia communication, and I put it in 2 schools, and they're telling me that it's increased the reading in the 4th grade level. So I'm excited about that, because we can put that in all the schools once I get enough money. And then we have started our own television station, and we're looking for content. So if any of you know of women that are making films, or women that are making films about women, we want those on the Flag TV. That's Film Like a Girl. So, but that's moving along really well. And then I have a long range vision of possibly having a charter school that would be in the humanities and the arts, where we could teach film as well as acting, as well as sound and lights and all these things to 7th and 8th and 9th graders. And so that's something that I'm kind of thinking about down the line. And then we've partnered this year with this organization called The First Kid, and they teach the children to be reviewers of films. They become film critics. And they have a whole program, and then in the end they do a film festival. So right now we're in the process, some of our members, of reviewing some of those films that will go to the kids to review. So we're real excited about that. And that organization is out of New Mexico, and there's a woman there named Rainey Levy that does it. And we're just real excited to have that partnership and do more things with kids. We had Junior ActorCon that we've had over the last 5 or 6 years. And we didn't have as many turnouts. So we're going to do it, repeat it again in January. And we got support from the Tennessee Film Commission for that. And we're thankful for them for doing that. And hopefully in January, when they have another break in school, we'll get more children involved. And we teach a little bit of improv, a little bit of acting, a little bit of monologue, teaching them how to do a monologue, teaching them how to tape themselves, teaching them a little bit of voice. And then we bring in casting directors from all over the country who do one-on-ones with the children, as well as when we do ActorCon, we bring in the casting directors and they meet with all of the actors that are there on a one-to-one basis. And it's a wonderful thing because we've had so many actors and actresses and children that have been in television shows and series and movies and everything because of ActorCon. So I'm really proud of the things that we've accomplished here in Nashville.
So Tosh, this is the reason why we're always talking about what's going on with WIFT in Tennessee. And then we owe what we've been doing, Lynda, because you don't know this. We're always talking about WIFT, whether it's me and Terri, whether we're in studio or not. The two film festivals, I always say I only want to support is you in Tennessee, and then Greg in Lake, Wisconsin. That's it, because it's because of what you guys do. And I was so touched when I first went down there. I was emotional. Lynda doesn't know the story. It's what they did on a shoestring budget that I was so impressed with. I said, I'm going to always help them. Always, 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 because of what they did. I'm still impressed by what I saw the first year I went down. And then the next year, Terri and Victoria and I came down. And then Katerina came. She's in Greece. So Katerina says hi in Greece because she was going to come on. Trixie says hi out of Texas because she's not feeling well. Jessica out of Tennessee, she's working right now, so she says hi. And there was somebody else. Oh, Victoria's working. She says hi. So they all love you, Lynda.
Yes.
Thank you. I love them. They're all such beautiful women and so talented. So talented.
Lynda,
so tell me what is going on with you, Brian.
I'll let Tasha ask the question, and I'll tell you.
Okay, Tasha, you tell.
Okay, so you are the president of this organization. So there's you're doing so much. There's a lot of projects going on. Do you have time to film your own stuff? What do you have time for that?
I'm an old actress, and so I keep thinking I need these lifted, and I need this done, and all that. And I keep thinking I'm going to do it, and then I don't do it. And I get all these jobs. So I think, oh God, I can't get all this facelift and everything, and then I won't get any jobs. So yes, I do. I still do acting gigs, and I still do live theater. And last September I did Steel Magnolias, where I played Weezer. And then this year, I think I'm going to
Hold on, Linda. Tosh, she also played a serial killer. Talk about that.
Oh wow!
Oh gosh! Oh yeah!
Must have been like the really nice serial killer. What?
I was hired for the Snapped series, and I don't know if you know about that, but
I love the Snap series. I watched
where
that.
these women snap and kill people. And so anyway, so they hired me to be this Virginia Hyatt. And I went to Knoxville to film this. And it was all during the pandemic, and it was for the Oxygen Network. And they all had masks and everything. And the funny thing about it was that when they went to arrest me, they had a real police officer and a real police car. And so they came to I was in this house, and they came to the house to get me out. And they said to the police officer, we cannot film you putting the handcuffs on her, but we can film you after the handcuffs are on her. And then we can film her getting into the car, but we can't film you taking her to the car. So that was the COVID thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, but the premise of this is that, there's somebody.
Oh my God. I want to see this. This sounds like such a good thing to watch.
Yeah, there I am in the police car. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, so the fun part about this is the woman that I shot, and the premise is that they were square dancers together, and she thought that she had stole her husband. So she walks up to the porch, and she takes a gun, and she shoots this girl 6 times on the porch, then walks away and goes in her car and goes through McDonald's and gets her mother a breakfast sandwich. Well, so the director would say, Linda, listen to this woman on tape so you can get a feel for how she is. So I'm listening to this woman, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this woman's a piece of work. So I said to the actress who's playing the one that I shoot, I said to her, I said, oh my goodness. I said, this woman was really a nutcase, and I just think it's horrible. And she said, well, she stole her husband. And I said, and that's a reason to shoot her 6 times? I've been married 52 years, and if any woman wants him, I'll say, where's the money? I'm not going to
that's funny. No, Linda.
But don't you think that's interesting? There I am.
God, look at that.
Oh my God. See, up on that porch. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Linda, where can I see this?
Get on the porch.
Linda, where can I see this? I really want to see it.
It's on Oxygen Network. It's also on NBC and ABC, all those things. If you go to Snapped, and then you ask for the Virginia Hyatt episode. I think it's episode 27 or something like that.
All right.
But
I'm writing that down. So
there it is. See, the Oxygen Network. Women Who Murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
And these are all based on true stories.
It was fun, I have to say. And oh my gosh, it was big enough that they gave me IMDb points for it. So, I got paid well. And but it was all during the pandemic, so it was kind of fascinating how they had to film it and everything. And I will never, ever forget this actress who said, well, she stole her husband. So that's a reason to shoot her 6 times.
So I have a question for Linda.
Go ahead, Terri. Go ahead.
Okay. So Linda, what would you say to any any woman who wants to become an actress at any age, or what's your advice with your career?
I will tell you this, that you if you want it, you go for it. But you have to remember that you cannot always get exactly the role that you think that you're going to get. And you have to be willing to take rejection And I always say rejection is God's protection. And that has panned out for me. I'll tell you a story about, I have a very good friend, Connie, and Brian knows her, Connie Maynard, and she's an actress and a model, has done modeling most of her life. And she and I went to do this Netflix movie. And, when you go to get this, they have these sides, on the table. And you pick up the side and then you go into the audition. Well, I knew that Connie wanted to read for the mother. So I thought, well, Lynda, can't you find something else besides the mother? Because you don't want to read against her. So anyway, I found a desk clerk. And so I went in to the audition and the director said, the desk clerk, that's a man. I said, who said it's supposed to be a man? Why can't it be a woman? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, read it. So anyway, I read it and I walked away and I thought, well, and then Connie got the notice that she was the mother. And then I get this note from the director and he says, listen, I have decided to make you the desk clerk, but I'm going to give you a daughter because this whole thing was about human trafficking. And so anyway, they gave me a daughter who gets trafficked. And so anyway, I got a bigger part because I was willing to go an extra mile, you know what I mean, and do something outside the box. I talked to Charlene Tilton the other day, who was on Dallas for many, many years. And Charlene said the only way that I got in there was because I was willing to take another part that nobody wanted. And that's really important. And to know that rejection does not mean the end of the world. If you don't get it right then, go again, go again, go again. And everybody, no matter what age or background that you have, you can do these things. It's always good to have a little bit of training too. I say, keep going to school. There are acting coaches and voiceover coaches and, things like that you can take. And I encourage everyone to do that because it keeps you on your toes with your craft. But I have a lot of women friends that say, oh, I'd love to do what you do. Well, they do, yes, if they really wanted to. But when it comes right down to it, would they really be able to change their accent or take on a role that maybe is not so glamorous and things like that? So, but I encourage anyone to pursue their goals and to go after whatever you want, and it's never too late. It's never too late. And that's the beauty of acting, because you can always act. You can play so many things. What I can't play anymore is anything that's Shakespeare, because all of Shakespeare is pretty young, and about the oldest that's in Shakespeare are old maids or something like that, or old witches or something. And but I did have Studio 10 out of Franklin. There was a director there, a female director actually, who said, I'm thinking about rewriting Romeo and Juliet. Would you play Juliet if I do it? And I said, yes, I would, but I don't want to drive to Franklin for rehearsals. So I don't know what happened with that. But the premise would be that it would be this older couple trying to get married, and it would be the kids that didn't want them to get married. So that's kind of an interesting premise for a play. So anyway, but yes, I do encourage everyone to pursue their goals, no matter what they are, that you can do or be something in theater or in the movies or on the radio or in television, if you just step outside your box sometimes.
So Lynda, also Sherry Nelson was going to be on here, and she says hi to you too. She's doing another show, so she says thank you for that. with that, talk about Sherry and her being in Real Mamiya. Talk about that magazine, how quickly it's grown around
Yes,
the world.
yes. Well, a year ago, we got together and we decided that it would be a good thing for us to have an online magazine because none of the women in film organizations had one. So we decided to form a magazine, an online magazine called Real Luminaire. And we try to highlight women in television and film that are doing unusual things. We had this last issue, which is our anniversary issue, has Brenda Lee on the cover. Now, Brenda Lee's not done a lot of movies. We went after Dolly Parton, but 2 days before the release of the magazine, her people said, oh, she can't do it. But Brenda Lee is on the cover, and she's excited to be on the cover. And some of our other covers have been here in Nashville. All of the television stations, their general managers are women. So we've had one of them was on the first cover of the magazine. And then the articles in the magazines have been about women that are doing things. And Sherry got her hosting position. And I thought, well, this would be wonderful to highlight her as a host and what she's doing and how she got there. And, you know, her story is so wonderful about being in Canada and all the stuff that she did and from her dad's lumber business and all that. So she's an interesting woman that had a powerful story about where she is. And I think she feels that by being in the magazine that it's helped her have more and more exposure out in the community, in her community. And Jennifer O'Neill was on the cover one issue, and she told me that it kind of kicked off her career again. That other magazines were now reaching out to her to be, you know, she was cover girl for CoverGirl magazine for 40 years. So, but you know, when you get up my age, they forget you. So it was good to resurrect that and have that. And then Edie Hand writes every month A Woman of True Grit. And sometimes those are not so much women that are in film or television, but that have eked out incredible careers, sometimes as producers, sometimes as just community activists and things like that. And then Patricia Leonard, who's my vice president of Women.
We love Patricia.
Yeah, and Patricia writes an advice column, wisdom and advice, and creative consulting she does, and career consulting, and she's really good at all that kind of stuff. And she always has great columns that are good tips about how to make your life better and how to think better and how to achieve things. And then Pam Tate, who's also on our board, Pam Tate has created this section called Deep Focus, and it concentrates on women in the past. We've had Ida Lupino, and I don't know if you even know who that is, but she was a television celebrity, but she had a background where she made movies and all kinds of things. And the latest one was Shirley Temple. And I'll tell you a cute story about Shirley Temple that's important for you to remember. Shirley Temple was in an organization that I belonged to called Peninsula Children's Theater Association. And that was an organization of women who did live theater for children throughout the Bay Area. And it turned 50 years old, and all of us did different things. Some of us acted, some of us ushered, some of us built sets, but we always hired a director from outside the group. Well, anyway, I called Shirley Temple Black because the governor was going to give us this big award and all this stuff was going to happen. And I said, Shirley, will you be there for this 50th anniversary? And she said, yes, Lynda, I would love to be there. But I'm going to tell you something. Do you know that in all these years, all the things that I did, nobody asked me to be in the play? And, you know, that was powerful to me because it made me understand that no matter how big they are or how famous they are, that you owe it to them to ask them. And it broke my heart that she felt that way. But she did come. And but anyway, Pam highlighted her career as a child and everything in this last magazine. And in May, we did a mother-daughter issue. And in that magazine, we also had a section called Men and Their Moms. So that was the first time we've done that. And we're thinking that maybe towards the middle of the year this year, we might do something that men who inspire women or whatever, I don't know. But bringing in a little bit more men into the mix. We do have men on our board. Chris Barkley is one who has Bonsai Creative, which does funding for movies and produces and does all those things. And he's on the board. And we have a lot of support from the community. Kurt Hahn, who owns Film House Studios, gave us an incredible deal to have our office there. And so I'm real thankful for all the things that we've done. And this magazine, the 30th, we're having our first year anniversary party. And it's going to be at a restaurant called Nashville Jam Cafe. And it's next door to Manuel's store. Ooh. So we'll do a little tour of Manuel's. And it's on a Friday night. So Manuel always has Tequila Friday. So we'll all go over there for a little tequila shot before we go to the party. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So Lynda, Terri hasn't been to Manuel's yet. And then she's coming. I told her to look up this young lady named Lynda next week when she's down there. So Tosh, meet Lynda. Lynda, meet Tosh. She's going to be in Nashville.
I leave on next Thursday, to Nashville, but I'm staying at the Smoky Mountains Friday and Saturday. I'm coming back Nashville on Saturday. So, do you have any advice where I should
come
go?
Back on Friday, can you?
I know.
Come back on Friday.
I come back Saturday night to Nashville. Yeah, it's a small, quick trip that I'm taking with my mom, like in mom-daughter time. So any advice of where I should go, like eating wise, like in Nashville, or where do I must go?
Oh my gosh, there's so many wonderful things in Nashville anymore, and there's really great. Some of the fun things are in the Gulch. And in Germantown, there's some fun things. And that's down, the Gulch is down around 12th Avenue. And then, of course, you have to take her on Broadway, where Tootsie's Lounge is, right there on Broadway. And Broadway is humming. They're full of people. And every venue has somebody playing music in it.
Oh, that's exciting. That's what I've been looking forward to. Like, I just listening to all the the country music that is like the Nashville, the city, like the music city. So I'm pretty excited about just kind of going with the flow and seeing who's performing and kind of taking everything in.
Yeah, Third and Lindsay has a great band every week. There's just so much music there that, I haven't paid attention this week about what's going on because I've got that big event on the 30th at Manuel's, and that's in an area called Berry Hill. And that's kind of fun too, because it's got all kinds of funky, fun things. But you'll have a great time with your mom, and just, you'll find everything on Broadway.
Okay, there we go. The place to go.
Yeah, make sure you do that.
And Lynda, talk about this. So you've either been founders or a co-founder of a lot of things. And I think the co-founding ActorCon, you founding your Evjen and Associates. I mean, all these things. What's your secret to keeping these things going?
Well, I don't do housework anymore. And, we have a housekeeper, and that's how I do it because, and I have a very supportive husband who works with me. We have Evjen and Associates together, and we own a franchise that has to do with osteoporosis, and it's called Osteo Strong, and it's in Hendersonville, and we have 2 nurses that are our session coaches. And during the pandemic, they wouldn't even let us come, even though we love it to go. And because they didn't want us to catch anything. And, we're old. And so they didn't want that. And, but anyway, and then these different things, I'm one of the founding members of Holidayfest in Sumner County, where we give over $200,000 to charities every year. And I don't sleep sometimes because my mind is going crazy. I just created a big another event for them, and we do the parade and the tree lighting and the festival of lights and I play Mrs. Santa, and David plays Santa, and we do the tree lighting. We go over to the tree lighting and see all the kids and do all that, and then what else do we do? And then all the things with women in film. And I was president of the Newcomers Club here for a while, but now I'm not. That's a 3-year term, and then you turn over. Women in Film has turned into a 5-year term, and I need to turn over, but they won't let me,
because you're doing a good job.
Bring her back in. So, but volunteerism is a hard thing because it's 80-20. 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. And that's the way it is. And you just have to understand that when you get involved in those kind of things. But it's important in life to feel like that you're leaving a legacy or leaving something that's important to people. And I was very unhappy here. Coming from California, and that's how Holidayfest grew. I had a priest who sent me to a women's luncheon that was all the wives of all the different denominations, and they were talking about bake sales, and they said, we're tired of bake sales. And I said, well, how about that we do gingerbread competitions? And oh my God, they loved it. So then I went to our realtor and I said, would you sponsor it? And he said, you're not going to believe this. I'll sponsor it. But he said the chamber doesn't want to do the parade anymore. So let's just have a big weekend. So that's what happened 17 years ago. And today last year we weren't able to do everything, but we did do the parade and the tree lighting. And we have given a total of about $3 million since we started. Since 17 years ago, to the charities of Sumner County. So I'm proud of that.
And your husband, David, is up for what, Mr. Sumner County?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of a fun thing. There's a fundraising group. It's called the Junior Service League here in Sumner County. And they do this Mr. Sumner County every year. And they nominated him this year. And I am having the best time. He's so mad at me, but I take all of these crazy pictures that we've taken all through our lives, and I put some kind of crazy thing on it. I put photo bombs on it, like I put a shark on one of his pictures with a tuxedo on, and I said, before the sharks get him, maybe he'll get his tails fitted and all that. And the theme of the dinner on September 18th is Hollywood. So I've decided that I'm going to, and they've got them all the nominees will wear tails, tuxes with tails and their top hats. And I've got a couple of members of Women in Film that do burlesque. And so I thought I'd get a couple of those girls to come out with him. And then he can play a kazoo and they can dance around. And then I've got a balloon maker who's going to tie up these flamingos, and then they're going to throw the flamingos out to everybody. So I think it'll be fun.
So Tosh, another thing, because we got about 4 minutes left, is that so Terri and I, Katarina, Victoria, Trixie, we have our glasses. Well, Tosh, you got a glass too, I think. So does it Lynda. Lynda has her glass from Cindy Wade also, don't you? Talk about that.
Yes, I do. I sure do. And I bought one for Connie when she did the pageant. So I love my glass. And those are really special, wonderful things. Wonderful.
Yes.
Talk about this. What's a favorite movie that you enjoy watching once a year? Something that comes out that just brings you back to your childhood, and something musically. And then why should people check out WIFT?
Okay. Well, I love Michael, the movie Michael. Have you ever seen that?
With John Travolta.
I would watch it 1,000,000 times. I just like it. I don't know. And now I'm a junkie on Netflix with all of the international things. I like the Arabic shows. I like the Spanish shows. And I'm having a ball with all the Netflix movies. And then musicals. Oh, I love the Christmas time musicals, like White Christmas with, everybody. And I just enjoy everything. And I love fantasy. I love fantasy. I love the, the movies that were made about the, oh golly, I can't think right now. The what's the one that's all the dadgummit. What's
White
the latest,
Christmas?
No. What's the latest animated? Well, I love My Neighbor Totoro because I have that phone case that I carry around that's Totoro.
Yep.
And I love that. But what's the one where they were all green and James Cameron did it. What's that?
Oh, Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar. I love Avatar.
See, it's a good thing I'm up on my movies.
Yeah.
So
I just couldn't think.
Lynda, this is what we're gonna do. So when you decide what's happening for next year, so we're coming back. And it's going to be 6 of us coming, just to let you know. Because
good.
we're all influencers, but we really want to help support any way that we can, whether it's the magazine and all the stuff that's going on, because you've done a wonderful job, you and Patricia and Donna and Edie and everybody down there. And I keep telling everybody, no matter what, we always have to come pay homage where we got our start of our first 1 million views in there. And I have to give you guys a lot of credit because I think about it many, many times a day. So I want to thank you personally for all the stuff, and give the website one more time.
And I forgot to tell that Donna Caldwell is really the backbone of the magazine. She puts it together every month, month after month after month. She does that, and she's an incredible editor. And I have to thank her for that because she's a hard worker and does a great job. And I know you know her real well, Brian. But
we're going to have her on a future show, too, because I haven't forgotten about her.
Good. Donna's got a great background, too, in music. And you all would love talking to her. She was with Universal, and nobody wanted the country music thing. And she said, I'll take it. And then they sent her to Nashville. So we were lucky to get her. And I think that the world is coming back. I hope so. I'm very concerned about this new vein of things that are happening. But as a child, I was involved with polio, and we saw families where 6 children slept in a bed and the middle child got polio and the rest of them didn't. And I think of this pandemic as that. And I think if we would all get vaccinated, because that's what we did to fight polio and typhoid and all those things, we got vaccinated. So I think it's important that everybody get vaccinated. But that's my soapbox for right now, because I just want us to have live events again. And theater, there's nothing any better in my mind than going into a theater and seeing a real movie on a great big screen with the around sound and everything. It's just powerful. Think about the first time you ever saw Star Wars. If you'd only saw Star Wars on TV, you would never have gotten excited about it as you did when you saw it the first time. So,
and with that, Lynda, I'm going to end the session. I want to thank you for coming on with everything like that, and obviously telling people to check out.
Thank you for having me.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
We've been waiting months. We had to wait months. So as I always say with everybody, if you see somebody add a smile, please give them one of yours. I'm Brian Sebastian. And Lynda, thank you so much. Please check out their magazine. Go on their website. Subscribe. Don't be afraid to donate with them. Thank you, Nonstop. Thank you, Vocally Tosh.
Thank
and
you.
If you see someone without a style, please give them one of yours, and we will see you next week.